Welcome back to our Gym Challenge Mid-Season Showdown here at Psycho Turtle in Pico Rivera, California. I'm Dennis Geisler. We're into round number 3 of Swiss, getting towards the middle of it. We have a off pair here. We've got Elizabeth Homen at 1-1 and Angel Torres at 0-2. Getting a little bit more of our variety in here. Still maintaining the one of the Pokemon from the previous one. Another Miraidon here on Elizabeth. It's the Chi-Yu, Whimsicott, Urshifu, Rapid Strike, Fluttermane, Golden Go, and Miraidon. This is actually the exact same team as we just saw for Alberto. And on Angel's side, it is the Incineroar, Ogerpon, Wellspring, Giraffe, Golden Go, Pelipper, and Calyrex Ice Rider with the Paragrass, Clear Amulet, Glacial Lance, High Horsepower, Trick Room, Protect. Obviously, interesting that we're seeing that horse for the first time. I guess it's a guy riding a horse, but in any case, we're seeing the horse for the first time today. Definitely a mix of Calyrexes around. Haven't seen... They've kind of fallen off over time, but also has a lot of value. I think the big thing is that Wide Guard matches up really well into it. No Wide Guard on Ellie's side. So... it's a little bit, just a little bit different. Although still a lot of things that can really put a damper on Calyrex's day. Probably not going to see the Pelipper. Pelipper has been a nice adaptation, but it is good, one, against spread moves, because it has Wide Guard, and there are no very valuable spread moves on Ellie's side, and two, it's good against... Pokemon that aren't Miraidon. It's bad against Miraidon because Miraidon hits it really hard. Chi-Yu Flutter, the lead for Ellie. It's going to be Ogerpon, Wellspring, and the Giraffe on Angel Torres' side. If you squint, you can imagine this is the same game as last game. In any case, see what the decision to start off here is. Ogerpon should be able to take whatever hit pretty nicely. Could even Crystallize if it wants to, and that would make it a much nicer matchup against this here. Giraffe might want to try to get the Trick Room up right now. And obviously Ellie would have a pretty vested interest in making sure that doesn't happen, so maybe you follow me, Ogerpon? What's to say? Ogerpon does go for the follow me turn 1. Honestly, might be ideal for Angel if it gets knocked out here. Ooh, going for the taunt. Which means that Trick Room is certainly getting up here. Dark Pulse into the Ogerpon. Not going to pick up the knockout. Very close, though. Honestly, not ideal for Angel, given the Ogerpon has to linger out here, but the Ogerpon is also now going to be the fastest thing, or not the fastest thing on the field, but faster than anything on Ellie's side. Meaning gets a pretty free hit off right now. But it does mean that Ellie is going to be able to protect, switch, do whatever you want to stall out turns here. First time we have no Crydon in this, so it means that the Fluttermane isn't going to be able to get its photosynthesis back after a switch out. Nor is the Chi-Yu able to do ridiculous damage on the on its fire moves. Chi-Yu will be the one to switch out here. Take away the Beads of Ruin. Urshifu, the one to come in. Giraffe going for the Shadow Ball into the Urshifu slot. Does a decent chunk. Drops the special defense. Not a whole lot of damage. Ogerpon with a Wood Hammer. Actually a really genius call, because it will take out the Fluttermane and it will take out the Ogerpon, getting it out of the way for Calyrex to come in. That is a really, really nice play from Angel there. I really liked that one. That one was clean. Question here for Ellie. What do you bring in? This Calyrex Ice with Terra Grass, meaning that whatever it does, it's going to be weak to Chi-Yu's fire moves, which it has plenty of. Calyrex does have 2 abilities, which is very important. It's not that important. It has Unnerve, which isn't that big a deal in this metagame. Not a lot of people are bringing berries. And also has the Chilling Neigh, will boost its attack on KO. Nice, nice thing to have, but here, decent chance to start clicking Glacial Lance or even a high horsepower, potentially, into the Chi-Yu. Shouldn't be much that Chi-Yu can do about it other than try to bulk it out, and Helping Hand will be there to try to make sure that does not happen. Urshifu detects. How much damage will this do? High horsepower into the Chi-Yu. That's going to pick up the one-hit knockout on the fish. Goodbye, Chi-Yu. And Angel in a really nice spot now with a Chilling Neigh coming up. We'll be able to go for a big Glacial Lance this next turn. It might only hit the Urchin, but in any case, this Calyrex is going to be really difficult to topple. Could even Terrastalize at this point, get that Terra Grass up, as it now resists everything that Ellie really wants to go for. Ellie can Terrastalize to take away the weakness to the Glacial Lance, but that's more of a necessity than a, like, ooh, yay, I get to do this now. It will be the Terra Grass on the Calyrex. We're going to see that now. See, it's Calyrex, it's Grass type, as we all have known it to be. And the Terra on the other side. Terra Electric for the Miraidon. I continue sneezing a lot. It's fine. I want this pizza, though. Got Brandon Davis eating pizza. He heard me. Miraidon gets destroyed by Glacial Lance. And Urshifu takes a pretty big chunk as well. Chilling Neigh comes up again, and I think this will be it for game number 1. I think Brandon has a bye, and so he's going to be able to eat pizza first before anyone else. There's the critical hit on the Psychic, and Angel Torres with the game 1 victory. Really nicely played from Angel to both get the Trick Room up, first of all, get the knockout onto the Flutter Mane, get the Calyrex in basically for free with the Trick Room up, getting the Ogerpon out of the way by getting Flutter Mane out of the way. I don't think it's a terrible lead for Ellie. I mean, Flutter Mane Chi-Yu is obviously a fantastic lead all the time, but I wonder what the decision might be moving forward, because Dark Pulse did not knock out the Ogerpon. Even if it did, it probably would not have been ideal. I don't know, maybe at the very least you get a little bit more damage because you're forcing damage onto the Calyrex when Chi-Yu is on the field, because otherwise Chi-Yu is going to really take out the Calyrex. I don't know, maybe that's the play. Try to take out the Ogerpon turn 1, try to keep Chi-Yu and Flutter Mane at max HP going into turn 2, or just go with Miraidon early. Try to just hit things really hard. It's also an option. Ogerpon Wellspring doesn't really want to take Miraidon's hits. In any case, on Angel's side, the lead was good in the last battle, and I don't know that you necessarily have to change things up. But it's not a terrible idea to change things up, especially if you want to get Calyrex in there and potentially try to provide a bit of a mix-up. In any case, game number 2 getting underway. Round number 3, both these players kind of fighting for their position in this one. Ellie at 1-1, Angel at 0-2. Go down pretty far in this MSS if they don't get this. That's the thing here as well. This is very important practice for everyone, because most of these players here, if not all of them, are going to be heading to LA Regionals next week. And practice for that is going to be very important. Same lead from Angel. Golden Go in for Ellie alongside the Chi-Yu. Again, that's going to be boosted by the Beads of Ruin. Could go for the Make It Rain. Steel Make It Rain. Does it take out Farigiraf? I'm curious if it does. If it does, that could be a huge start for Ellie. If it doesn't, it'd be really tough, especially if the Ogre Pawn draws away something like... No, she can go for like a Heat Wave or something. I actually didn't see what it locked in. Angel's gonna go for the turn 1 Terra as well. It's gonna be the Ogre Pawn, Terra Water. Obviously, because it's Ogre Pawn. Ogre Pawn Water, it's got Terra Water. But it'll get the plus special attack, which is nice. Up into this matchup, there's a lot of stuff that it already resists and that it will take even better now. Here's a Terra as well on the other end. Terra Steel Golden Go. Last battle, we got the double Terra on the Restricteds. This time, no Restricteds getting their Terras because the base Mons are the ones who are going to get it this time. Ogre Pawn with the Ivy Cudgel. Ooh, going into the Chiyu. Will it pick up the knockout? It will. The turn 1 knockout onto the Chiyu, and that means Beads of Ruin is now down for Golden Go. Going for its Make It Rain. I don't know if it's going to be able to take care of this. It does not. For a Draft takes the hit. For a Giraffe will eat its Citrus Berry, bring it back a little bit. Interesting using that with an As-1. And for a Giraffe does get the Trick Room up, so a great first turn for Angel. And a really difficult one for Ellie. Send out the Urshifu, but now the Urshifu's in a lot of danger of getting just destroyed by Woodhammer. Because now, even if, at this point, Ellie kind of wants to play around the Trick Room a little bit. You're at a -1 Golden Go, but the Golden Go's not at a lot of threat of damage from either of these Pokemon. That Ho-Oh discussion on the side there. Kind of sold on Ho-Oh. I think I'm getting sold on Ho-Oh listening to this discussion on the side. In any case, for a Giraffe, going to switch out. It's going to be Incineroar coming in. Not going to do a whole lot with the Intimidate, although it will drop the attack of Urshifu, which if it doesn't want... yeah, it probably doesn't want to go for Surging Strikes. That will drop its damage a bit. Will Detect, stall out an additional turn here. Golden Go with another Make It Rain. Not going to try to nasty plot that damage back up, and it will not be doing much at all with that. Now down to -2. And the Ogre Pawn Ivy Cudgel, I believe that means it connects into the Golden Go, reading the Detect from the Urshifu. Does barely take the hit, but still a really nice call there for Angel, is now Urshifu is not going to be able to do anything like that, and might just get taken down by a Woodhammer from the Ogre Pawn, while the Incineroar is able to clean up the Golden Go with... Knockoff is the only attacking move. Actually, it could do it with Fake Out. That's the funniest thing. I might actually get it done with Fake Out. And leaving it up might not even be a terrible idea. No, I think you just knock it out. I think at this point, Angel's on the spot to just knock everything out and win the battle. Miranon's really the only big threat in the future. It's going to be the Follow Me here. It's interesting. Might be hoping that... Ooh, it's going to be the Parting Shot from the Incineroar. So it's going to drop the Urshifu's attack even lower, down to -2. And Incineroar will swap out into... Possibly, it's got to be Giraffe or Calyrex. And it's... Could be anything. It's for a Giraffe. For a Giraffe comes back in. We'll be able to Psychic the Urshifu. Nice. Ogre Pawn takes a little chunk from the Golden Go. Drops the Life Orb damage. Forgot it had that. And that will be the end for a Golden Go. And Urshifu with the Surging Strikes into the Ogre Pawn. Remember, it doesn't have Water Absorb anymore because it has Terrastalize. So it will get taken down by that. But now, with the Trick Room still up, Ogre Pawn drop. Aww. With the Trick Room still up, I think there's a way for Ellie out of this one, but it is going to be difficult. Can go for double protect this turn. Calyrex comes in here. Calyrex does have 2 abilities, it's true. Hadron Engine gets up with that electric terrain. Big thing here, I believe this is the final turn of Trick Room. We're just gonna assume that's true. Although maybe it's not, because Ellie's going for attacks here. Miraidon will protect. No Terra available, so Glacial Lance a nice option here for Angel. Potentially trying to get Farigiraf out of the way so an attack doesn't have to be dedicated to Farigiraf next turn to stop it from getting the Trick Room up, but regardless, it is out of there. Trick Room can be summoned by Calyrex itself, but in any case... Ooh, and it does go for it. Twisted Dimensions returned to normal. I don't know why that happened, but it's what happened, so we all have to live with that. This is a Covert Cloak Miraidon, so it isn't actually threatened by the Fake Out from Incineroar. We'll be able to attack regardless. What is pizza? A bunch of people taking pizza. There's the Fake Out from the Incineroar on the Urshifu, only thing it really hit with that. Electro Drift, let's see how much of this gets done to the Calyrex. About half the HP bar. And Calyrex should be able to do some good damage here with the Glacial Lance hitting both targets. How much does it do? It takes out the Miraidon in 1 hit. Doesn't do too much to the Urshifu, but all it needed to do is get rid of that Miraidon, and it should mean that Angel will be able to clean up this one eventually. It might actually take a while, because their energy will get out of this one. It's going to be tough. I think the issue is that if it doesn't take down Incineroar right now, it's going to get Will-O-Wisp. Going to go for the Calyrex first. Does Calyrex take... I don't think it does. I think this third one will finish off the Calyrex. It will. Does Will-O-Wisp hit? 90% accurate. If it hits, Ellie's probably going to be in a rough spot, and it does hit. Do remember that Will-O-Wisp just halves the damage regardless, so it does not matter whether or not you are doing critical hits, you are still doing half damage. So Surging Strikes into the Incineroar, it's still a super effective move, but at half damage, I don't know if it's going to pick up the knockout. I think that's not enough. I think that's barely not enough. Ooh, I think that's barely not enough. It is barely not enough. The Incineroar does take it. Does the Incineroar get the knockout with the knockoff here, though? It does get the double damage, but does Incineroar do enough damage? Nowhere close. And we are, in fact, going to head to game number 3. Very, very, very close one there. And the Surging Strikes will finish it off. Ellie pulls that one out and sends us to game number 3. I have a dog over here now. The dog has left. Dog will now leave. Just a visiting dog. And so we're now at 1-1. We'll head to game number 3. I will still await eating my pizza until the conclusion of this set. How much I care about y'all. That game, it definitely was the Urshifu which was able to take care of business towards the end. Able to take down the Calyrex, and that's the thing as well, is that Calyrex was hit by Surging Strikes and by Electro Drift, which are 2 very high damage moves. It took them decently, but it still went down eventually. Like, it went down to both of them. And that's the problem with these 2 super high power Pokemon. However, the question for Ellie, do you change things up? Because that lead didn't necessarily work in the last one. Not as you would have hoped, especially using the Terrastal on the Golden Ghost so early to provide not a lot in return. And then only getting kind of dragged out towards the end there. still technically succeeded. It still was a one battle, but I'd imagine Angel takes better advantage of that in the next one. And we're gonna get into this. Game number 3, the decider here. Angel trying to stay in this tournament, keep chance at top cut. Ellie trying to push towards it. 2-1 would be a nice start to get in there, even with the 0-2 down pair. And we'll be the Miraidon lead this time. Just going to not think too hard about it. Just send in the bicycle dragon and start hitting buttons. We haven't seen a Miraidon Volt Switch actually today, even though we've seen a couple of Miraidons. But it might change right now. And we're going to get the Terra turn 1 from Miraidon. Not going to think too hard about it. Just go for that Terra Electric, do the most damage possible. Everyone eating pizza now. Horrible. I want that pizza. Terra on the other end for Angel. See what this is. See the Terra on the Farigiraf, Terra Fairy. Interesting choice. I'm curious what that's there to block exactly. Potentially the Dark Pulse, I suppose. Ogerpon's gonna follow me. It's gonna be a lot of early damage done to Angel's side. Electro Drift is almost certainly going to just destroy this Ogerpon here. And there it goes. Question here, I guess what Ellie is trying to do is just get up Trick Room at all costs. Dark Pulse, yeah, into the Farigiraf, not gonna do a lot of damage. Hold for flinch, not gonna flinch. Trick Room gets up. So Angel will have the full Trick Room duration coming in with probably Calyrex here. It's probably Calyrex, it might not be. But I feel like, yeah, you have to get in the Calyrex here. Now the question, who do you target out of these Pokemon? Like, they're just such high damage Pokemon, because... oh, she is locked into Dark Pulse. You could Terrastalize here and try to take down the Miraidon, potentially, if you are Angel. But I don't know how much damage you do to the Miraidon. Like, I don't know if Glacial Lance or High Horsepower is a better damage here. Calyrex really wants to snowball this one, but has to keep the HP going. Like, it's slow, and it has no recovery of any kind, so any damage it takes is just going to be damage off the top. And even a normal effective... Yeah, she is going to switch out. No Terrastal. That is bold. Golden Go comes in. Because it's also a resist against the other one. Calyrex will go for the high horsepower and doesn't pick up the KO onto the Golden Go. But Farigiraf, with that extra Psychic, going to pick up the knockout. So Golden goes down, but I don't know how much value Golden Go is going to bring. Meanwhile, the Miraidon, untouched, goes for the Electro Drift into the Farigiraf. That should certainly take that thing down. And it will. So both of these restricteds at full HP. Still staring each other down, but gotta feel like Ellie's in a really nice spot here, knowing that all these Pokemon have to, like, Angel has to commit damage to all these Pokemon. It's gonna be very difficult to deal with that. Also, at a one Pokemon advantage because Ogerpon and Farigiraf are already out of the way. Last two for Angel do have the Fake Out, but we're in a similar spot to last time, except there's an additional Pokemon in the pack for Ellie. And the tough thing there is also Chilling Neigh. I was about to say Grim Neigh, but that's the wrong Neigh. Chilling Neigh did not get up previously because the... ooh, double protect here. Chilling Neigh didn't get up previously because the... because the fur giraffe picked up the KO. That's what I was trying to say. Sorry, I got distracted. There's a bunch of pizza everywhere. Really, it's horrible. In any case, Urshifu, Miraidon, how do you deal with these two Pokemon here if you are Angel? Especially with Trick Room nearly expiring. Calyrex going for the high horsepower onto the Urshifu. Maybe trying to get rid of that. Ooh, and Will-O-Wisp misses the Urshifu. That might just be it, because we know from experience a Surging Strikes plus a Electro Drift does finish off the Calyrex. Does just under half the HP there. We'll see what the Miraidon goes for. I think it will be that Electro Drift into the Calyrex, and that should be pretty much curtains. Talked about it before, but that 10% chance for Will-O-Wisp to miss always comes in at the worst times. Would have taken the hit otherwise, but who knows what it would have gotten done after that. And now should be pretty able. Last turn of Trick Room. Could protect out of that and stay as safe as possible. Yeah, Ellie will play this one calm and collected, because now the Surging Strikes will definitely take down the Incineroar. Not going to get that half damage from the burn. Actually went for the knockoff against Miraidon. Not that it mattered. This is absolutely over. Ooh, the electric terrain does disappear. It still does. It really doesn't matter. Electro Drift. Do some good damage against the Incineroar. Wow, actually really good damage for the fact that electric terrain wasn't up. And one hit of Surging Strikes will finish it off, and Ellie Homen will pick up the 2-1 victory in round 3. We'll move to 2-1 on the day. Keep chances at top cut still pretty good, even with the down pair. Got to make a play like that and keep things going. And it was fun seeing Calyrex for the first time today. Hopefully we will see more moving forward. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side, I will have pizza, and we will have round 4. Don't go anywhere.